It's a beautiful Monday morning in the nation's capital. Yes, money making Monday. That's MMM. What are you doing? Get up and go make some cash for the week. Welcome to Good Morning Abuja. You know how we do it on this program. My name is Pamela Zamfara. Now, our curtain raiser for the day is our motivation. If you've just joined us, the program is still Good Morning Abuja. All right, in the studio, we have our first guest for the day already seated. And guess what? She is an 11-year-old child who is already an activist. You know, when she walked in, I'm like, 11 and you're an activist. Wow. What were you doing at 11 years? For me, wow, I was playing around and just messing up a lot of things in the house. But let me not talk too much. Let's just get to meet our guest in person of Amor Ishaku, aka also known as the Rising Star. Welcome to the studio, Amor.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very fine.
Okay, so you are an activist?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what made you become an activist?
Um, I have passion for children.
Okay.
Right from when I was small, I hate to see children being treated badly. I hate to see children suffering. I hate to see children not going to school, children dying of hunger, children dying of illness. So it just inspired me, and then I found myself doing things that will promote the rights of children, doing things that will advocate the rights of children.
That's lovely. I can hear the passion in your voice talking about children. Okay? So who do you look up to? Who are your mentors?
My first and biggest mentor is my mom.
Mm-hmm.
As in, she's a big influence to me. I've watched her handle her life, and I admire the way she handles it. She's capable of enduring, and also she loves to fight for people. She loves to fight for people's rights. She loves to bring justice. And then my second mentor is Malala Yousafzai. Oh my God, she inspires me. Looking at her story, looking at her challenge, the challenge she faced, instead of her allowing it to destroy her and just make her feel like a nobody, she decided to use it to to fight for people who are like her, to fight for the girl child, to fight for the rights of the girl child. So she's my second biggest mentor. And then third is Emma Golenze. She fought for clean water for her people, advocated that water should be clean, fought the government. So these are my three biggest mentors.
Okay. So can you tell us what works have you done? Can you tell us any experience you've had on the field?
Okay, on the field of
Advocacy.
yeah, I've shot videos. I've shot videos that promote rights of children. In fact, I tagged the name of my videos children's voice, because I believe that children need to be heard. Children are complete human beings. They are not waiting to grow up into adults before they become full human beings. No, right now they are complete human beings, and that is why they must be taken and be regarded as important members of the society, and they should be taken seriously because they have a lot of contributions to make at their age. Right now they have a lot of contributions to make to Nigeria. Okay, for example, I'm a child, and here I am, I'm contributing to the society right now, right here, right now. So I believe that children have a voice that must be heard. We say children are the leaders of tomorrow, right? But I disagree in a way, because I feel children are the leaders of today.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same way we treat children today is the same people they are going to be in the future. So it means the grooming we give them now determines the future Nigeria. So what we do with their leadership now is to equip their leadership so that we can have a good and better society in the future. So
Wow. I see a great Nigeria with people like you. Because if at this age you're already up and doing and projecting into the future, I I am overwhelmed by your courage and everything. Okay? So what challenges have you faced in this work, in activism? I'm
um
sure I'm sure you must have had challenging situations.
the biggest challenge I've faced is resources. Resources to be able to make my voice heard, be heard. And first, I would like to thank my family. They have been my great source of sponsorship in this work,
Okay.
and I must really say I'm grateful to them. I want to
That
thank,
means sponsorship has been a challenge to you.
yes,
Okay. What other
um,
challenge?
I want to thank my mom. Say a very big thank you to her. She has always been there for me.
Okay.
My dad, the same thing. My brother, who always does the camera work,
Okay.
and my little sister too. She's encouraging, and
How
other.
old is she?
She's just 5.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and all other loved ones who have seen the potential in me, who have believed in me, and who have supported me financially and in every other way they could. So I want to say a really big thank you to them, and I'm very, very grateful.
Okay. So from I heard you're an activist and you're also a singer.
Yes,
Wow. That's a lot. You have a lot of feathers to your cap already.
yes.
Okay. So how did you become a singer? What happened?
Well, I do gospel and moral songs,
Okay.
songs that improve the well being of humanity and develop our society.
Okay.
Well, my mom said I started singing right when I was born
Wow.
because my cry was different. When I cried as a baby, I sounded like a singer.
Wow.
When I blabbed, I sounded like a singer too. But I officially started writing meaningful songs at the age of 6.
Mm.
I was introduced to the studio at that age, and in fact, I released my first album at the age of 7,
Okay.
and I released my second album at the age of 9. And since then, I've been writing songs as each time God inspires me because He's the giver of
Of
gifts,
all things, yeah.
and He inspires me with words that I believe will change the world and make it a better place.
Okay.
And I believe that through my singing,
Mm-hmm.
it is a tool in which God will use to change lives and also to improve our society and improve our world.
Okay. So you're doing a lot already, and then I'm sure there's schoolwork.
Yes.
How are you able to cope with all of this that you're doing and schoolwork?
Well, it doesn't affect my schoolwork at all
Okay.
because I only use my free leisure time to do things like this. When it's time for schoolwork, I concentrate on my schoolwork because without schoolwork, it won't rhyme and I won't go far. So it doesn't affect my schoolwork at
And
all.
I see you going very far in life.
Yes.
All right. Can you sing just anything you would want? Just sing a little song for us. Let's hear your voice.
Okay. I would like to sing one of my songs. It's yet to get to the studio,
Okay.
but I'm sure it's a great song and it carries a lot of messages. Hello, hello, pick the phone, answer the call now. Hello, hello, hear the cry, it's from the future. Arise and stand to the plight of the children. It's time to stand and fight for the future. The past is scared, the future is scared. The present is wondering, who am I? Where will I be? Let's get down to work and deal with our problems. Violence is real, hunger is real, abuse is real, abuse is real. Oh, stop the talk and get down to work. Save the world, heal the world, heal the children.
Whoa, lovely song. And it's refreshing to hear meaningful songs, because most of our songs these days are just I don't know what to say, but it's refreshing for me to hear that a little girl has depth to her songs. Lovely song there.
Thank you.
All right, if a child is watching you and is like, oh, I really like this person on I'm seeing on TV, and I would like to be like her, what advice do you have for the child?
First of all, my advice will be that children should use their time productively, because without me using my time productively, I will not have been able to be where I am, and I will not have been able to do what I'm doing right now. So children should learn to use their time productively, and I'm not saying we should take childhood away from childhood too. So they should learn to use their time productively, come up with ideas that will change the world. As we all know, the saying says, all play without work makes Jack a dull boy. And at the same time, all work without play makes Jack a dull boy too. So let's learn to use our time wisely. That little spare time you have when you have finished the chores, you have just come back from school, finished homework, think about what you like doing the most. That's the fastest way to be able to identify what your talent, what your gifting is in life. You first sit down with yourself, realize what you like to do the most, and then start working out on this thing. Tell your mommy, I've discovered I like doing this. So I need resources to buy keyboard. I need resources to do this, do that, do this, do that. And my advice to parents is that during times like this, it should be an honor for them to see that their children have finally discovered who they are. So they should not be, as in, dream killers. They should encourage the child. They should encourage the child and let the child also see them using their time productively. Because you can't advise your child to use his time productively to do things while you're just sitting down idle at home. No, let your child see you doing things that will make the world a better place, so that he can get encouraged too and know that, okay, what mommy is doing is right, I'm supposed to be doing it too. So that would be my advice.
Thank you so much, Amor Ishaku. And you know, I don't even know the words to use. You just inspired not just me, I'm sure you inspired also our viewers, because your age and the things you've achieved at your age is really impressive. Do keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Good Morning Abuja continues after this break. Please do stay with us. Welcome by, a feature there on business opportunity gone by. Now, here in the studio, we have a business expert. He is in person of Emmanuel Otori. He's a managing partner at Market Advantage Consulting. Welcome on the program, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Yeah, you look very sharp.
Oh, yes, as a business person, how you dress really matters because of the kind of people you meet.
Okay.
You want to ensure that you already have a pass so they can listen to you.
Okay. Okay, all right. So we're talking about some of the challenges that startups are faced with.
Yes.
Okay, so what challenges? Let's even get to know what challenges exactly is it that startups are faced with.
Okay.
Let's answer
Okay.
that headlong.
Talking about the challenges that startups are faced with, there are actually very numerous challenges that startups face.
Okay.
They have really made one of them go viral by whenever you ask a startup founder what are the challenges you face, one of the things they mention is lack of access to finance or funding.
Okay.
Now, while there are many other factors that could impair the growth of a startup, finance is just one of them. There are lots of other factors. Hiring decisions is one of them. Who do you hire? Do you hire family and friends? Do you hire people because you like them? Do you hire people because they're competent? Location also matters.
Okay.
If you have a good location that has access to raw materials and you don't have to travel all the way to a long distance, it could help. Your supply chain also matters. If you could find a supplier that's ready to give you credit so you can use to manufacture your items and when you sell you can pay back, that matters as well. Ability to keep financial records, proper financial records matters, and that's one big one. But in all of this, we found out that startup founders will majorly tell you about lack of access to funding. Now we've seen startup founders who never had access to funding somehow got funding and they could not properly manage this. Now, at that point in time, funding wasn't the problem. The problem then becomes ability to manage this capital or inflow they just got. And because this is like a rush, something they've never had access to, like $1 million being invested in the business, they've never seen it before. So they found it and they have a lot of rush in their system. They don't know what to do. They're very confused. What do we do next? They probably want to go on a spending spree, want to hire a big office, want to hire lots of staff without a clear definition of what do we intend to achieve. And at the end, we come back to the point where they go bankrupt. And this has happened lots of times. That's why you see that there is this ongoing statistics and research that says over 70% of businesses fail in their first few years of starting. And this is quite true because of this issue. Now, I hold this position that funding is not necessarily the only issue. That
Even
does
though
not
it can
mean
be.
that it is not an issue, it is not a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. But there are other contributing factors that could impede funding, even if you have the fund and do not have the knowledge of running a business properly.
Okay. Okay, so what are the major reasons? Because you've now made us understand that it's not just funding; other things too are involved. But what are these other things? What are the major reasons why a
Okay.
business would fail?
One of the major reasons why a business will fail is lack of proper records. If you're not keeping financial records, you've bought a raw material for 1,000 naira, you cannot easily calculate your profit. If you can't find your profit, you only know money is coming in, but you don't know whether you're profiting or you're
Not.
losing. That's one major reason. That record keeping alone could determine whether a business will survive or thrive or not. So lack of proper record keeping is the most important thing I think should be focused on.
Okay. So now that we know the factors that can make a business fail,
Yes.
what other factors can make a business thrive?
Oh, okay, fantastic. What factors could make a business thrive? One of the factors that could make a business thrive is when you have an excellent team. If you hire based on proficiency, based on experience, based on expertise, then the business will most likely
Definitely
thrive.
thrive.
So it's really very important not to be sentimental. We've seen people start businesses and then there are sentiments around, he's my friend, but we know what it will lead to. You can't be in a position to lay down structures for your friend because your friend will probably think you're my friend. Why are you being so harsh? But in business, we also do not want to get emotional all the time because we understand that in business, it's a balance, emotions and logic. But with a friend, you can't be logical. So when it's time to say, I do not think you answered that customer properly,
Properly.
it might be a feedback that the person won't accept. And because you share this friendship with the person, you won't be able to correct them the way it ought to be, and there will be issues.
And as Nigerians will say, see finish, don't enter.
Exactly. And people will begin to tell stories and say, we were friends, we started this together. Now, it doesn't mean you weren't friends and you did not start it together. It only means that for the business to grow and thrive, there are things we cannot do here. And it has nothing to do with family, it has nothing to do with friends, because the most important people in our businesses are the customers. And they are our number one stakeholders. And we satisfy them regardless of what any other people think. Yes.
Okay. So let's say I'm just starting a business.
Yes.
And I have government funds available. How do I put it into proper usage? How do I utilize it?
Okay. I have also said this, that even funding given by the government, I think this is the government that has paid attention to lots of interventions. We have over 11 interventions at the moment, and they're still coming up with more. In fact, there is this recent intervention that was announced by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and it's for students in tertiary institutions and fresh graduates to help give access to funding to them. Now, I think this government has done a lot since we've had Nigeria, because we've never seen this type of interventions before. Now, when you get funding, the question is, what should you do with the funding? If your business hasn't been registered, the first thing to do is to register your business when you get funding. If your business has been registered, do you have a corporate account? Now, we're not talking about personal account, because you need to be able to separate your personal account from your corporate account. So when you have a corporate account shows trust. People can easily put their money in a corporate account because they know this is an organization that's governed by law. But if people put money in a personal account, they cannot be held accountable that a business transaction has really happened. Because a business that's registered and has an account is a legal entity. So these are the first things that you should do. Secondly, you want to be able to look at your offering. Are you offering a product or a service? Have you started developing? If you sell packaged items like pepper, dried pepper, and you package and you sell, how many do you intend to sell? Are you already selling at scale? Are you having more customers and less supply? Now, if you're having less supply, now you have access to funding. You can increase your supply. You can begin to produce more. So you want to look at registration. You want to look at ability to be able to offer your product and your service. And then the third thing you want to do after making your product and service available is visibility. People need to know that you have something you're selling. If I'm a fashion designer and no one knows what I'm selling, how will they buy from me? So after product development, the next thing is to ensure that you engage in sales and marketing. You have customers, and you want to be able to, you must have determined your target market. Are you selling fashion items for kids? Are you selling for a particular religious organization? Are you selling hats? Are you selling trousers? Are you selling shirts? And that will now define how you put yourself out there. What medium should you use? Should you place an advert on social media? Should you go on radio, on TV? Should you use word of mouth? Would you want to have an expo in a networking event where you have a stand where people can buy? Now, because of what you do, it will inform how you go out there to be able to sell to your customers. So that's the third thing I think you should do. The fourth thing is, as you start this business, you will begin to realize that your strength alone cannot run the business. And it brings me back to team. So you want to begin to think, now we need an admin person. I can't be manufacturing and also be picking calls. I need someone who is in the customer service department to pick calls for me. I'm a fashion designer, but I can't do it alone. I need someone to cut for me. So you hire an extra tailor to cut and support you. And then that's how growth happens. From company registration, you begin to see how you're growing in phases. And then it gets to a point in time you want to get a bigger place. This place is no longer serving us. Maybe you started from a small place or from your home. Now you want to get a bigger place. You eventually realize that people want delivery to their homes when the items are done. So you want to buy a delivery guy, or you want to buy a van, or whatever you want to put in place, whether you want to buy a car, a van, or a bike and have a delivery guy, you begin to put that in place. You begin to realize that the kind of customers that you're attracting, they like good branding. You want to begin to brand by having very nice looking nylons to put these items into. And it doesn't end, because customers will keep demanding. And as they keep demanding, you want to ensure that you're able to meet up with these demands.
That's true. Okay, at the beginning of answering this question, you told me about government interventions. You
Yes.
mentioned like 11.
Yes.
And even there's one for undergraduates.
Yes.
So could this also be an issue? Because, okay, I'm just thinking of a business and someone tells me, yeah, there's intervention there, and I go and I get,
Yes.
and I have so much money.
Yes.
Could it be a reason why some startups
Yes.
actually fail before they actually start up a proper
Okay, that is that's a really good question and funny at the same time, because if I intend to start a business and I hear that there are government interventions, I also think one of the things that some of the interventions should do is verification and audit. I have seen entrepreneurs or so-called entrepreneurs who have had access to funding and they were actually not doing the business. But when it's time for verification, they could talk to a friend and post with another person's business like their own.
Wow.
So without knowing that it's not theirs. So when they get this funding, they misappropriate it to do whatever they want to do. And that's why you find out that the rate of how many existing businesses or entrepreneurs we have from government interventions might be very minute. Not because the numbers are not large, but because people have found a way not to be straightforward. And because people are not straightforward, the person says, I have a fish pond, it takes you to his friend's fish pond to post as his own. He gets the 5 million, 7 million, 10 million naira, and in 5 years' time, you expect that the business should have employed 20, 30 people, and there is nothing.
There's nothing to even feed the person who got the intervention, the funds.
Yes, there is nothing because there is no business on ground. He only got the money, and you know what happens with money when you don't have an idea, when you're already not doing anything. So the people it works for are the people who have been properly verified. If a person has been properly verified, there are many ways to verify this person. How long have they had a social media handle? When did the business get registered? And verifications should not happen by informing the person. For people who are enumerators who go to the field to verify these people, you necessarily do not have to inform them that you're visiting.
That you're coming.
So when you visit, it's unexpected. You definitely will know if an activity has been happening there or not, and that should be the basis for these people to get funding or not.
Okay. So, if I'm a business person, what are the things I should make sure I put in place before I even start up in order to make sure that my business doesn't crash?
Fail. Okay. So, things you should put in place for you must have a product or a service. A person cannot call themselves a business owner if they don't have a product or a service. So, that's the first thing. What are you selling? That's the first thing. Secondly, you must have a team. There is no business person who can actually claim they're a business person without a team. A person with a team would always beat a business without a team. It's easier to trust a person because they have 2, 3, 4, 5 staff than a person who is just a sole proprietorship. Even if it's a sole proprietorship business, you're the sole owner. It's necessary that we have team members that are helping you. And that shows that you have a team. That shows you're credible. That shows there is growth because you pay these people to do their work, and that's a lot of trust that you have people that are on your payroll. It shows that the business is growing, the business is thriving. Secondly, financial records. We cannot play down on that. It's really very important because most Nigerian businesses are not properly structured. A good number of Nigerian business owners are accidental entrepreneurs. They were not intending to start a business, but for whatever reason, they realized that opportunities are limited. And one of the best ways to get out of not having, not being self-reliant, is to start a business. So they then go into the field and decide to start a business. They then start without much knowledge, but then they begin to grow as a result of experience on the field. So one of the things that's very important is training. That entrepreneurs need to go for a training. If you're sick, where do you go to? You go to the hospital. Entrepreneurs need to take business development trainings. They need to know, I need a business plan. I need to go for a training that teaches me how to write a business plan. A business plan shows the future of my business. Now, if I cannot write it, I need to get in touch with an expert who can do that. One other thing we need to put in place is visibility. Every single business on the face of the earth needs to have a website.
Okay.
Online presence is really very important, that without it, a business might not grow. So online presence is very important. You must have social media handles, but before even having social media handles, you must have a website.
Okay.
How do we find you? How do we know you exist? The only way to know is if you tell me about a business now, I'll probably just go on a search engine and find out
And
if you
find
exist.
out,
That's the
yes,
first
yes.
thing an average person will do. And if I don't find you there, I might begin to question myself.
Yes.
Do you really have a reputation? If you have a reputation, because
You should
I
be
want to
online.
see what other people are saying, the reviews that people are giving. If I go
About your
online,
product.
exactly, I could find these reviews. If they're a positive review, I can decide to buy. If there are negative reviews, I can decide not to buy. So all these factors are really very important in ensuring that a business can grow. Another thing that businesses, most of them do in Nigeria, and that's why they don't thrive, is they don't think big. So a person starts to make good cash flow, but then they remain there. And the moment the lifetime of the person has passed, the business goes under. So there is no succession plan. There is no business continuity plan. So the BCP, the business continuity plan, has to say, if anything happens to me in a form of risk, I fall sick, or a person has passed on, what should happen? So the succession plan will be, this person should be the next to lead the team. And if it's a family business, this member of the family should lead the team. And lots of things has to be written in the will to ensure that a person can take charge of that business so the business can continue. We want to begin to see businesses in Nigeria that would live for 30, 50, 100 years. And they will not change. There are brands that are franchises outside this country, and they've been there for 100 years. And the taste and the principles and the values and the materials doesn't change.
Have remained the same over
The
time.
same over time. And that's how reputation is built to make a sustainable business. We want to see such businesses in Nigeria.
Okay. All right. It's been lovely talking to you, and you won't begin to imagine the depth of what the impact of what you've said, even on me. Probably I should go start a business or something.
It will be great because we need lots of entrepreneurs. So every new entrepreneur is welcome in the market, ready to face severe competition, and I hope finance will not also be a problem for you.
I don't think, knowing you now, finance should not be a problem, because I know you know your way. So I'll just follow in the line.
Very important. If you have social capital, you're good to go. Social capital is basically, I want to sell. How many people do I know? How many people know me? Because the moment the people around you can begin to buy, it's a good indication that you can sell to a lot of people. But if you probably do not have a good relationship with people, then you can't sell. So because a business person needs to have a lot of network around them, and that's what makes them sell.
Wow, okay. You've heard it all from Emmanuel Otori, a managing partner at Market Advantage Consulting. We've been talking about some of the challenges that startups face, and while conversing, we've been able to say a lot of things, like what you should have in place before even starting a business, in order not to end the business before starting it. Thank you
very
for
correct.
coming on the program, Mr. Emmanuel Otori.
Thank you for having me once again. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Viewers, Good Morning Abuja continues with this music. It's been a lovely time on Good Morning Abuja this morning. Hope you had as much fun as we did in the studio, and we would like to tell all our guests thank you for coming on the program. Emmanuel Otori, the business expert; Amor Ishaku, the little girl who is also an activist. Thank you for coming on the program. And to you, our viewer, thank you for staying with us till this time. Good Morning Abuja airs every weekday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Do keep a date with us. I am Pamela Zamfara, and from the entire production crew, do have a lovely day.